2 weeks after the murder and still no closer to finding out who killed the rebel leader, General Abdel Fattah Younes, and why.
The law is what will find these people. This is why we had this revolution, to find justice and democracy. I think that this will be the first test for this revolution.
The first and also the biggest test for the National Transitional Council, which itself has become engulfed in the controversy.
There are people who were involved. Whether it was an organization or something, I don't know. But at the same time, whoever did it had connections with the NTC.
An NTC judicial committee issued an arrest warrant for General Younes to answer questions over military matters. The job of enforcing that warrant was given to militia units, not members of the regular rebel army. On Wednesday, July the 27th, the heavily armed force arrived at General Younes's operations room in Ajdabia.
We tried to contact Mustafa Jalil, but his phone was switched off, and the same with his secretary. There were many attempts to contact the NTC, but we had no response.
General Younes, his two aides, Mohammed Khamis and Mustafa Mathakor, and 4 cars of officers were driven in convoy to Benghazi. According to those we've spoken to, there was no phone reception and none of the 7 checkpoints was manned.
We thought that we were just going back to Benghazi and that the cars were there for protection. The other suspicious thing was that they were repeating Allah Akbar, and they said they had captured Gaddafi agents.
General Younes and his men arrived here about 4 o'clock in the morning. As they approached, they were joined and surrounded by even more militia vehicles. And at this point, they were jumped on by militia members. They were handcuffed. His main body of men were kept outside of this garrison, but General Younes and his 2 aides were taken through these gates into the garrison. And that was the last time General Younes and his 2 aides were seen alive by his men. Mustafa Abdel Jalil, president of the NTC, announced General Younes had been killed before the body had been found.
Mr.
Mustafa Abdel Jalil said they were killed, but we don't have the bodies yet. This is the inconsistency I'm talking about. How can you say someone is dead and you have not seen the body?
And according to the medical examiner's report, Mr. Jalil said the 3 men were lightly burned and did not have their throats cut. These accounts are disputed.
They were all shot and burnt. Their throats were cut and one of the bodies had the right eye taken out. So I don't care about the difference in the reports. I know what state they were in, and that's all that matters to me.
Suspects include pro-Gaddafi elements and Islamist groups who've been operating outside the umbrella of the opposition armed forces.
We have only just started a revolution that everybody participated in. We haven't started any political groups or anything. For now, I think that everybody just wants the rest of Libya to be liberated.
The support of the powerful Obeidat tribe to which the general belonged is seen as critical to the success of the revolution.
I wish for the NTC to be honest and to bring justice, because if this thing does not happen, then the Obeidat tribe will have to take it into their own hands.
Despite repeated requests, no one from the NTC agreed to be interviewed nor give a comment about the allegations. Division and infighting is the last thing that Libya's rebels need. It would make the overthrow of Colonel Gaddafi even more difficult than it's already proving. Tony Birtley, Al Jazeera, Benghazi.